Hello, my loves, and welcome to this reading. All right. Yeah, welcome. Welcome, my loves. If you're new here, I always like to give a little heads up before I jump into my messages. My readings are pretty unique. They might not be what you're used to from other readers. So, they tend to be quite a deep dive. I like to call them a journey. If you are up for that kind of thing, if you like to dive deep, then you are in the right place. And I'm happy for you to be here. So let's explore. I actually have no idea what wants to come through today. I'm Usually I get at least a hint or a feeling or anything before starting with a message. And right now there's pretty much nothing. I hear a clean slate. Okay, so maybe you are at a point right now where a whole lot seems possible. I hear everything is possible from this space. And actually, it's not entirely true that I didn't get anything. I saw that card lying in the bottom of it's part of one of my decks, and I barely ever use it. But this one, it spoke to me. So it seems like your future is kind of, I don't want to say unclear. It is. It is unclear, but it's not it doesn't feel unclear in an anxious way, or in a way of like that you have a problem with the uncertainty. I do get a sense of surrender. It feels like you're pretty much surrendered to this state right now of, okay, I guess this is just what it's like right now. I also get a bit of sense of like drowsiness. Maybe you are in a time where you are feeling the energies. And to be honest, I think I mentioned it in my last video as well, the 7/7 portal really got me. So, and you might still hear it a bit in my voice. I had quite the heavy ascension symptoms with a sore throat and a runny nose and all of that stuff. So, I mean, of course, the message is timeless whenever you get this, but maybe you do have some physical things going on as well. All right, let's just dive into a few messages here with the cards and see what else wants to come through. I am drawn to the planets here. Okay, so there's something about astrological alignment. Like I said, the 7/7 portal. To be honest, lately, I haven't looked into astrology at all. I have no idea what's going on right now. All I keep hearing is that it's an important time, that there's a lot happening, especially this week. I think it's supposed to be quite significant, but I actually don't know why. I haven't felt called to check it out, which, like, I'm not an astrologer at all. I just, sometimes there are phases where I'm drawn to it more and I feel called to work with it in a more conscious way. And sometimes it's just, oh, okay. So I'm getting something because right now we are in a Mercury retrograde. And take them. Seriously, again, these two cards, they keep showing up. Okay. Time to go and higher power. So yeah, this is speaking to the surrender aspect I've been talking about earlier. And with the time to go card, it feels pretty straightforward. Yeah, the change of the wind card at the bottom of the deck as well. So there's some change happening. It seems like you've been waiting for this for quite some time. Maybe even dreaming about it, like dreaming it up. So it seems like right now there's a significant time for that. I'm drawn to this change. The word change is speaking to me right now pretty loudly. So, okay, what I said earlier with all those ascension symptoms and stuff, like there's some change happening, and it might feel to you like there's not a lot going on. And I was like, okay, am I taking it? And I heard yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So there's something about a back and forth. Take the top and the bottom, leave the other two, okay? Yeah, just like I said, this feeling of there's not a whole lot happening. It feels like, well, I should do more. Shouldn't I take more action? Shouldn't I do more? And yeah. This is speaking to me in a way about like sometimes there is like the change is happening and we are not able to see it, but there's actually a whole lot more going on than what you can see and what you give yourself credit for. And I do feel a whole lot of resistance with that. Just speaking this out loud, I feel so much resistance coming through. So it seems, and it is in reverse. So it feels like you are having a hard time believing that. But with the fates in reverse and like all those stars that I see here, like the stars that are lining up, and this is bringing me also back to this planetary thing I was talking about earlier. So there is some kind of, and it's lying beneath the higher power card. So there is some kind of alignment that is happening, something about divine timing. And there's no need to push because there's nothing, like there's not much more you can do. And like this time to go card is a confirmation. But right now I feel like, is there actually a lot like you can do, or are you already doing what needs to be done? Okay, now I heard chop chop. Let's get a bit more with that. It's a bit shaky. It's a bit... Okay, so with the Five of Vessels card here, It seems like you put all your eggs in one basket and something is not working out. And you are focusing all your energy on what is not working out. So it seems like you're a bit single-minded, or like very focused on one thing, maybe even to the point of closing yourself off to other opportunities so that you don't see like the other eggs that are lying in this basket over here. And again, this thing with the work is happening even if you cannot see it, and trusting that everything is as it should be, while, like I say, like, it seems like you're maybe focusing a little too much on what is not working out and not giving yourself credit for what is actually happening, or the kind of work you're doing is exactly the kind of work you should be doing right now. For example, if you're resting a lot, that's what you're supposed to be doing right now because your body needs to rest. Or maybe you're focusing on things like clean eating or exercising more, or making space for creative projects, spending time with people you love, those kind of things. So doing something for yourself that is actually, I hear it's good for you, but you don't feel like you're doing the work. It doesn't feel like work for you. But what I get here is that sometimes that is exactly the kind of work that needs to be done, even like, but our mind doesn't value it as such. So sometimes the rest is needed so that you can return to whatever action you want to take later. You do it with more energy and a well-rested mind, so that you are a lot clearer on what you can do, and it might even give you the time and space to receive new ideas. Here with the Champion of Coins in reverse, that's the Knight of Pentacles, and that's not a very pleasant energy to be in, at least not for most people, because it can be very, very slow and it can feel like nothing is happening. And again, because it's in reverse, I do feel that there's a whole lot of resistance to that. There is this feeling of it, but it should be faster. Like, something should be happening, something should be, like, there is this very strong fixation on one certain thing, and that should move forward, but it feels like it doesn't, and that is driving you crazy. I even feel a bit of anger about that, when in actuality that is exactly what is supposed to be. And the thing is, the more we resist it, the longer it'll take. Yeah, and I do get confirmation over here, for one, with the Sun card that is speaking about, like, this is what you're moving into. Yeah, it is like, I was drawn to the Future card, so this is what you're moving into. you can't see it. And so this is reminding me of, the imagery is reminding me of spring, the sun that is shining on the soil, and the seeds are still in the ground and we cannot see what is growing. But after a while, if the sun has been shining on it and there's enough water and nutrition and everything, at some point there's a flower growing out of it. But that's not the main work. Like, the flower is the end result. You're focusing on the end result. You want to have the end result, but you are not allowing the space and time that it needs in order to grow for the seed to what's the English word for it? I can't remember it right now. You know, the time it takes and the process it takes before a seed can grow into a flower. And the biggest part of it happens underground. When it's breaking through the surface and starting to grow, like, that's when it already is, like, there has like already a whole lot has already been happening in the unseen. And the Seven of Swords is very, very clearly speaking about this. Right now, you're focusing on something that you actually shouldn't be focusing on. That's a harsh way to say it. Yeah, but it's because it's a sword suit. So there's a bit of a sharpness maybe to your own thoughts. You should be doing something else. You should be focusing more on what's actually important. But what's actually important is not always as clear to the mind. The mind thinks it knows what's important, but in actuality, in many, many cases, it doesn't. Because it's lying here next to higher power card and the fates, there's this sense of, well, it's trying to basically mess with the process that is so much bigger than what the mind can comprehend. And the mind is focusing on the nitty-gritty details. I'm drawn to that pattern of the chessboard here. So the mind is very linear, and it's focusing on all those little details and things. It knows how to play, but it tends to forget that there's actually a master chess player behind everything that knows every single move that is about to happen and knows so much more than our little selves, our little minds, our little egos who think, well, this is important and I need to do that, or what? Or what? Well, there's no good answer coming to that. Actually, there's no good answer coming to that. And the interesting thing is, because at the beginning of this reading, I said it actually felt like you are in a calm and surrendered space and you're okay with the unknown. But then this whole reading turned a bit into a different direction. And so what I'm realizing now is that throughout this whole reading, I got a bit of sense of anxiety and the feeling of, am I doing something wrong? Should I be doing something different? So on the one hand, you kind of like, you have surrendered and you're trusting in this higher power and you're trusting in this bigger thing that is happening. And at the same time, there still seems to be some doubt if this really is going to happen, if you're really on the right path. And I also have a bit of a and it's getting stronger and stronger. There is some kind of feeling that is actually pushing me down. It feels like a pressure. It's very strong on my head, and my neck. Like my neck feels really tense right now. My shoulders. Holy shit. That's not very comfortable. It's not a nice sensation. Okay, so now I heard like you are your own worst enemy. So it seems like you're, like I said, like overall, you're actually, you do trust and you know all those things, like how important rest is and all of that. But sometimes there just seems to be this part of you kicking in or taking over that is planting doubt and is trying to interfere. And then there is this uncertainty and not knowing what to do. Okay, I'm called to use the tarot deck again, and so this is a sign for me. Grounding is important. And yeah, again, like with the tarot, it's interesting because when I shuffled the oracle decks, they were like, it was a normal shuffle, but with the tarot deck, everything comes out a bit messy, a bit jumbled. It feels unstable. That's the right word for it. Like the energy feels unstable. So there seems to be like you need some grounding, a bit more grounding. Yeah, I'm drawn to like the nature aspects here, the flowers, the trees. So there's something about nature, going into nature. Breathing. Yeah, just remembering to ground. And with the 10 of Swords cards and the 9 of Vessels, this just came through in another message as well the other day. It's like you are ending, it seems like a huge cycle. You are reprogramming yourself with that doubt thing again. Like you're reprogramming yourself when it comes to certain beliefs or thought patterns. And this is nothing that happens overnight. So there is the emphasis on, again, divine timing, on, yeah, with like the moon up here, like the cycles of the moon, the bigger movements, the planets again, like there are bigger movements at play, bigger cycles. And the 9 of Vessels card here is speaking to me about that too, because it's, to me, it's a very seasonal card in a sense of it speaks about harvesting with all the food that is here. So there is a time for harvest and there is a time for work. And there is a time for rest and there is a time for planting seeds. So really, when you think about the year as a cycle, nature doesn't expect a huge harvest during winter, because you just know, like during winter, it's the time of rest. And of course, you cannot harvest anything before you haven't planted the seeds in spring, and before they had time to grow and bloom, and then the harvest comes. So there's something about honoring the cycles, the small and huge movements in your life, and really to come back into the moment and to like I said, like enjoy nature, take a walk, breathe, connect with seasonality. So I get something about maybe eating food that is typical of the season that you're in right now. Or if you are a woman, see where in your natural cycle you are right now and find out if there's a certain kind of food that can help you with that phase of the cycle you're in, because your body needs different nutritions due to different phases of your cycle. So that's very specific. It's good advice in general. I mean, but it feels like it's very, very specific. So this might be for someone specifically. Oh, okay, that might help you with the, like, maybe you feel tired a lot, or like I said, I get this dizziness again or drowsiness. So there is some advice coming through with really to look at your cycle, your menstrual cycle, and get to know yourself, like the body, and when your hormones are doing what, and how this can have an effect on your body and your need for nutrition. It's like you can't. Okay, so there's something coming through about, like, as a woman, you cannot live like a man because your body functions in a different way. And this also is related to food, for example, or exercise, or what kind of things you're interested in or you feel like doing. So there is like this very, very clear advice coming through of keep track of who you are in which part of the cycle, basically. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's an interesting reading. I hope it helped. I hope it finds you. If it resonates, I always love to hear from you. Maybe leave a comment or a thumbs up, and or maybe a subscription, which helps you to pick up on your energy more easily, and of course helps my channel grow. Yeah, so I wish you all the best with that. I'm going to close this out and looking forward to seeing you in the next message. Until then, take care, my loves. Bye.